back to the YouTube channel of Pro Enzo Vids, and this is my round 15 tips of the NRL for 2022. Yeah, so I think this is giving me a good week of a good round ahead. Hopefully, good week. Seems like there's plenty of blockbuster games. Like on Friday, got Manly and the Cowboys. That's gonna be a really big game. I'm looking forward to that one. Storm and the Broncos will be a good one. I mean, this time Broncos, you know, they've obviously been a lot better this year, whereas Storm, just always good. So that's going to be an interesting battle too. And then, you know, you got some other good games that can go either way, like Eels Roosters if Eels turn up. And then the last game between Bulldogs and the Tigers is for the flip of a coin as well. So very interesting round ahead. Yeah, before I start, if you haven't already, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Got the 2,050 subs last week, so that was obviously the aim. So I thank you all for that. So yeah, I guess the next goal is to get to 2,100 subscribers. So that's going to be the next day for me and the channel. So if you're new watching the channel right now, and you know you're kind of new to watching who I am, I would greatly appreciate if you can subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot to me and the channel in general too, because I obviously want to keep growing and keep getting better. So that would help if you know, if you want to contribute and be a subscriber. So but anyway, enjoy the video. This is my round 15 tips to go for the first game. It is the Rabbitohs and the Dragons. Alright, going for the home side's team first. So going for the Dragons, Makali Ravalawa, he makes his return from a hamstring injury, which means that he'll come in for Jonathan Rubin, who made his debut in the wing last week, so he makes way. Matt Fiagi returns from illness on the left wing, so Tartan Moga drops out. And then Jaden Sewer moves into the starting side, and Jack DeBellin goes to prop. Molo goes to the bench, and Josh Maguire has a groin injury, so he's out. Hooker Andrew McCulloch has been named to start in his 300th NRL game, so Dragons would obviously want to get off of him for his 300th game. And then Moses invited to the bench. And as for South Sydney being the away side, they've got barely any changes. The only change is that Blake Taft joins the bench and Peter Mamouzelos drops out. So, yeah, look at how both sides have been playing so far this year. Dragons have been inconsistent, but been good in some games. And as for South, it's been a bit the same. They've been inconsistent, but have looked a bit stronger than Dragons, I will say. But who am I going to go with? I'm going to go with the Rabbitohs by about 12 points. I'm pretty confident they'll get the win here. I think they'll be a bit too good for the Dragons. So, yeah, my first try scorer is going to be Campbell Graham. I think he'll get a try on that right edge. Yeah, right edge he plays on, that's right. And I also will back in Alex Johnson for a try. I will also back in... I'll back in someone like Blake Taft from the bench. I reckon he'll score from the bench. And as for the Dragons, I give Ramsey and Fiagi my tries. Right, onto the big one now. It is the Seagulls versus the Cowboys. A game where this is going to be fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. Cowboys have been in great form this year. You know, they've really risen up from the top. No one gave them a chance to really play this sort of form that they have been this year. So, much credit to the Cowboys and how the players and the club have turned themselves around. Very good job. But they do travel to Brookie, not an easy place to play at, so it will be interesting to see how they go there. But yeah, it'll be a good game, very tight, I reckon. Going through Manly's team though, they've only got one change. Daly Sherry Evans comes back at halfback with Ford going to 5'8", and Schuster goes to the bench, and Ben Trewavich drops to reserves. As for the Cowboys, Ruben Cotter is back on the deck at prop. So Cohen Hess goes to the bench, and Jeremiah Nanai is also back for the Cowboys in the back row. And he replaces Tom Gilbert, who's out with an eye injury. And also Hilton Luke is out for the season, obviously. So Connelly Lemuelu goes to the starting side. As for my tip, I'm going to go... Yeah, this is tough. This is very tough. You know, I think because it's at Brookie and we haven't lost there for nearly a year now, we usually play well there. No matter who we play, we usually often play well at Brookie. It's rare we put in a bad performance there. So, because of that reason, I think we'll win by 2 points. Yeah, I could be claiming bias here, and people will say, oh, why tip Manly against Cowboys who have been so much better this year and with form and everything? Well, Well, it's at home. It's at Brookie. We usually play well there. We haven't lost there since July last year, like I said, nearly a year now. And our form's been a lot better. So I think this is a good game to test where we're at, because obviously we've had good wins, but against Warriors and Tigers. So now you play a bigger opponent like Cowboys. So I think that we're a good chance. So I'll tip us by 2 points. Although the first try scorer will be the Cowboys, though. And I think they'll score through Valentine Holmes for first try. But then I think we'll hit back with Tuipulotu getting a try. I reckon Garrick's going to score a try for Manly. And I also think a forward like Olakwati will score as well. And as for Cowboys, I think Cotter's going to score. And I think Hamiso is going to try too. On to the next game now. It is the Storm versus the Broncos at Amy Park in Melbourne. So looking at both sides, so going from the home side first, the Storm, Papenhuyzen's back. He's listed in the reserve, so if he does play, that remains a question to be seen, but I think he will, but we'll see anyway. And after that, Nick Meaney to slide back into the wing, and that means impressive debutant Grant Anderson has retained his spot in the 17, so good to see Grant Anderson get another go in first grade. I thought he was excellent against the Roosters in his debut last week. And Felix Kafusi was hit with a fine, which he shouldn't have. He should be missing fucking games. With dangerous contact with Sam Walker. So, yeah, he'll be still playing, unfortunately. But getting into the Broncos side, to go heaps of changes. Adam Reynolds will miss the game with rib injury, which means Tyrone Roberts starts at halfback. Katoni Staggs returns after missing the Raiders game with a corked shoulder, suffered in Origin 1, and that means Brenko Lee also holds the place in the centres, with Herbie Farnworth gone for the season with a bicep injury. And Selwyn Cobbo's back as well, with Jordan Pereira going to the 18th man role. Kurt Capel returns to the back row, so TC Rabati goes to the reserves, and Jake Turpin joins the bench in place of the injured Corey Pakes. Payne Haas has been named to play despite hurting his shoulder against Canberra. So a lot of changes there for the Broncos. But as for who I'm tipping to win, I think the Storm will be a bit too good. I expect the Storm to have a big one in Melbourne. We've had the Broncos. We've had who the Broncos have out. They shouldn't have much of a chance of winning. They might be competitive at first, but I think with it being in Melbourne and there's no Reynolds, I think the Storm will win easy. So Melbourne by probably 30 points, if I'm being honest. And my first try score is going to be... I'm going to go Grant Anderson. Yeah, I think Grant Anderson will score the first try. I think also Munster will score. Harry Grant will score. And I think Kenny Bromwich will get a try as well. And as for Broncos, I believe Cobbo will score a try. Maybe Oates. And that's all I think of so far. On to the first game of Super Saturday. It is the Sharks and the Titans at Coffs Harbour. So they're taking a game to Coffs Harbour. I believe there was one there last year. So good to see them do that again for another season. Just going for the Sharks side first, as the home team. They go for the same 17 as what they were last week against the Warriors. As for the Titans, AJ Brimson has COVID protocols and returns at fullback, which means Jemana Sarko goes back to the wing, and I'm supposed to say AJ Brimson did recover from COVID protocols, so apologies for that. So Easton Masters drops back to reserves with Sarko on the wing, and Tina Fasu Malawi is back in the starting side this week, so Moaki Fedawaka goes to the bench, and Aaron Clark's been named at hooker despite picking up a rib injury against Souths. Alright, well, my tip for this game, I believe the Sharks here will be a bit too good for the Titans here. With how Gold Coast are going, I don't give them much of a chance. So I'm going to go the Sharks by probably 16 points. I think they'll have a big win. And I'm going to go for first try Ronaldo Mulatalo. Really like him on the edge. In fact, I think he'll get a double. I'm going to go Ronaldo Mulatalo for a double. And I think Talakai will score one. And I think one Ford will score a try too. I'm going to go McInnes for a try. I'm going to go a bit bold. I think he'll score. And as for the Titans, I think Marzu will score. I think he's a good chance of scoring Marzu. And I'm also going to go for Beau Fermor for a try too for the Titans. On to the next game now, the second game of Super Saturday. It is the Warriors versus the Panthers at Moreton Daily Stadium. Warriors home ground for last week, actually, until they go and play in New Zealand next week. So going for their team now. Ronald Volkman will make his NRL debut at 5'8", so look forward to a debut video on him. He will replace Harris Davida at 5'8" while he goes to the bench. And Jesse Arthur comes into the centres for the expense of Rocco Berry. Ben Mertmasill's out with dislocated elbow, so that means Bunty Afo moves into the starting side and Aaron Penne joins the bench. Jordan Aiken misses this game with a concussion, and his place is taken by Josh Curran. Adam Finnell-Blake's been named on the extended bench, and is poised to make a return. So it would be very big for the Warriors that got him back. And as for the Panthers, got no real changes apart from Isaiah returns to the Premiers after he was given a rest last weekend. So Matt Eisenhuth goes to reserves. Well, I'm not going to stick around in this game for too long. I think the Panthers will win by about 30 points. I think maybe like a 38 points to 6 scoreline. Yeah, that should be too good. And I think first try scorer is gonna be Stephen Crichton. I reckon he'll score first try, and Toto may all get one as well. And now on to the very last game of Super Saturday. It is the Eels and the Roosters at Combank Stadium, so home ground Parramatta. Going through their side, they've gone with the same 17, so no changes after that big shock loss to the Dogs on Monday. So Arthur must be expecting some sort of response from that side, if anything. And as for the Roosters, Luke Keary has been named to play despite a concussion, but will be monitored during the week. So it means that hooker Sam Verrills makes his return also from collarbone injury, and Drew Hutchison goes to the bench, while Paul Momirovski has been dropped and he's replaced by Billy Smith in the centres. And Egan Butcher has been added to the bench, and Daniel Sluga Fafita goes to reserves. Right, my tip for this game, I've got the Eels to win and bounce back by about 4 points. I think back at Parramatta, they should be a little bit more focused, and they should be, I guess, a bit better in terms of effort, because I think they can win this one. But if Roosters win, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. But I've got Parramatta to win by 4 points here, and I reckon try scorers will be Sebo, Simonson, and I think even Marani Okoro might get one too. And as for the Roosters, I'm going to go Tedesco, Tupou, and I like Tupanua on an edge. On to the very first game of Sunday. It is the Raiders and the Knights at GIO Stadium in Canberra. So looking at the Raiders side, Jordan Rapana is back from suspension on the wing, which is the only change this week. And Papali goes to the starting side from being on the bench last week. And as for the Knights, Ponga has been named to play despite a HIA injury got against the Panthers, but will be monitored during the week. Kurtman moves into the lock, while Mitch Barnett goes to the second row, and Lachlan Fitzgibbon drop into reserves. And Sammy Sawala is a new face on the bench, with Bradman Best out with an elbow, is likely a week away. And as for my tip, I'm going to go the Raiders here by about 6. They should be a bit too good for Raiders, so I think they'll win by 6. Kotrick Savage to score, and as for Knights, Twala and Barnett. And on to the very last game, round 15, it is the Bulldogs and the Tigers taking on each other at Combank Stadium. So going for the Bulldogs team first, as they're the home side, Chris Patolo will miss the match, suffering a head knock. So that means on debut, Curtis Moran will make his NRL debut from the bench. So another debutant video there. Ram Fatala Mariner has been named in the starting side, with Corey Waddell moving to the bench. And Luke Thompson remains silent as he struggles with the effects of the concussion, which is not good at all. So Afasmani Fagai has not been named after withdrawing from Monday's game with a calf injury. And as for the Tigers, Adam Dewey makes his long awaited return this week from a knee reconstruction on the bench. So that's a big in for the Tigers. And as for the backline now, as Kepa Owa takes the place of the suspended Brent Naden in the centres, and Naden's out this week, obviously, with the tackle he did last week. So Kepa Owa in the centres. And Luke Chandler has been granted an immediate release to join the Cowboys, so he'll be gone for the rest of the season, with Kelvin Tulagi starting the back row. And New Brown gets a recall on the bench at the expense of Jock Madden. Alright, my tip for this game, I've got the Bulldogs winning by probably 8 points. I think after Monday's game, they'll be very confident, high in confidence, and I think this is a game they'll build on, and I think it'll be a bit too strong for the Tigers. So I've got the Bulldogs by 8, and my first try scorer is going to be I reckon Addo he's scoring first every week for the Bulldogs, so why not this game? He'll score another one of the first tries. So Addo score first. I think young Aaron Schott will get a try as well. And I'm also liking Max King. I think Max King might barge over for a try too. I just got a feeling. And as for the Tigers, I think Nofaluma will score. I also think probably... I think Lugano might score a try too. But anyway, that's my tips around 15th of the NRL. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your tips for the week ahead. But thanks for watching. See you next video.